be going to school for your cosmetology and getting your GED at the same time. I don't know if they
NCC
still
has
do
a lot of resources.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that, but I know they did do that. So,
I think they still do. MCC also has childcare, which is helpful.
right next to the cosmetology building.
She's like, I know. This is what happens, right? So what about some other goals? Does anybody else have goals or anything they're trying to work towards that they've hit a hiccup they're trying to figure out? I got y'all left together. Figure it out.
I just let it talk.
What about you, Stephanie? What are your goals?
School.
Yeah. Do you have your GED yet?
I'm only one course away from being there.
Math. Everyone is math. Everybody's math.
That math is,
Are you taking a class or anything for it?
no, I wanna go,
When did you take your test?
it's been a while, so I'm probably gonna have to retake it
Yeah,
all over.
because they changed it in January 2015, and if you didn't have it
So
by
I'm
then,
probably
you
gonna
don't
have to do it all over again.
Well, they have classes at,
Caritas?
no, I know they have them at Caritas. They have there's one at a church on like 18th and.
Oh, yeah, but that across you from Sealy Park.
Like is it Crestview or Crest something, Church?
That big old church with all the stairs.
Yeah,
right down the
it's
corner
real
of
big,
the light,
yeah,
of the
it's
light.
like Homan and 18th right there. You turn, you know that weird thing where you go like Bosque to Homan, it's like that super weird turnaround. When you do that loop-de, it's like right there on the left-hand side, and I know they offer free GED classes and stuff like that, but that stuff's, I mean, that's the stuff that, kinda what you're talking about, it's like, that's kind of one of those like, you set that goal, you're like, I've got 6 weeks to figure this out, and I'm gonna do everything I can, we're gonna just do it fast, you know, cause when you say, okay, I'm gonna do it eventually, I mean, I was talking to some girls, this was back in December, I think, and they were all like, had their babies on stuff, and they were like, well, I was gonna go get my GED, and then I had all my babies, so now I'm gonna have to wait till they're in school, and when you keep pushing it back like that, you know, it's like, that's just one of those things that just doesn't get done, you know?
It gets harder.
Yeah, it gets hard, cause you get busier and busy, the older your kids get, you actually
They'll
get
give your
busier.
money back. They'll reimburse you, it's a lot of them that do that now. Yeah. It's a lot of them now that where, if you take the test and pay for it, they'll get, and show that you've done it, they'll give your money back.
Yeah. I need to, I just don't wanna do it right now, cause then I'm gonna have the baby and then I'm gonna stop, so I don't wanna waste time.
Well, it depends on how long it takes, how far along are you?
4 months.
You can get that studied and done in 5 months.
Girl, you
Easy.
too smart, for
You
real.
can do that.
You tripping.
You can do that.
You can get that done in about a month, go in there to review that
And
math
then,
real quick.
and then you have the opportunity of, you have that baby and you can go to MCC if you want and you'll be able to do that. Because what's hard, and I'll tell you, like, what's hard is when you have that baby being able to do all this stuff. You know, it's like when you're up all night feeding and crying and all that stuff, you're not gonna be studying for your GED, you know? So if you get that done beforehand, then that way, when you're actually gonna have to figure out, like, okay, how am I getting food on the table, you can get a much better job, or go to MCC so that you can get a much better job, you know, and you can have those provisions for you. You can do that in 5 months. You can do it. You got it.
My thing
I will
with
help you
math
with
was,
that.
my thing with math was
hard.
fractions and decimals. I
Oh.
could not do fractions to
so hard.
save
It
my
is.
life. But I can do algebra, I can do trigonometry, I can do chemistry, can't do fractions. I don't understand it, I don't get it, I just could not do decimals, I could not turn a decimal into a fraction, I could not turn a fraction into a decimal.
They're hard, and then it's dumb, cause they're on those tests and stuff, and it's like, do you wanna know how often I work with decimals and fractions in my job? Never.
Realize that's
Yeah.
what it's like.
Like, look, I got a phone, I'll look it up on there.
Okay, but then when I was going to SEC, I had to take, the beginner's math, well, algebra, and when she explained the decimals and the fractions, I was like, are you serious, I'm making it this hard? But she was a good teacher, you know, and some people just hand you the stuff and be like, do it, but she was good.
Got a good
She
teacher.
doesn't know that one.
What about you, Sheila, what are your goals?
My goal is to finish paying my student loans that I have. But also like helping my husband with the business that we're planning. So that's like our major goal right now is doing like.
What are y'all planning?
Huh?
What business is it?
He's like, he does cabinetry, like custom cabinets.
Okay.
So like on the side, once we move and have our garage and stuff, he's gonna start building stuff, and we already have people like from our church wanting like coffee tables and dressers.
How
and
long is this
everything.
gonna take? Cause I'm trying to redo my kitchen cabinet and for real,
We're supposed to move by like the first.
Cause he keeps telling me
So,
he's
and
gonna
he's
tear my
like,
kitchen up.
yeah, and he's like really good, he has a lot of creative ideas. So like he would be doing the actual work, and then I just do, because I have a business degree, I just worry about the business and getting the word out like that.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what would work for us and our family, and with baby, and I have 2 other kids.
Yeah.
So I just wanna be able to be flexible, 'cause that's what I always look for in work.
Yeah.
Flexibility.
To be able to take sick days and do all that,
Yeah.
that's really good. Well, one thing too, just for y'all, there's so much available as far as childcare and things like that, but you gotta put, for y'all, I mean, to get the help with childcare, you have to put the dad on child support.
I know that was it. That's what
And
my problem was.
I know that
with
sucks,
CPS.
and I know it's like not anybody's favorite thing, but that's another, I mean, for me, that's another one of those where it comes down to that decision, like.
I'm in a hard situation.
But
with
if
that.
your parent, if he lives with you, they said that, cause see, I just went through this with CPS, and, they were like that, see, what my problem was that he called a marijuana case before that time of where it was okay.
Yeah.
So like, he can't be on the food stamp case, cause then it would mess my food stamps up, but we live together in the same household. So the CPS was like, well, since y'all live together, then, he can give me his information and we'll put him on there. But they wanted him to be on my food stamp case in order to get it, but I was like, well, he can't be on my food stamp case, and then he was talking about all this other kind of stuff. So it was like really frustrating with me in my
Yeah.
situation, cause it's either child support, food stamps, or a letter from this person saying that y'all live together, but y'all aren't together in a relationship, and then that would be fraud.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And that's where it gets complicated, I know it's not just.
And I don't have
because
nobody to watch her though, that's why like I'll be worried about trying to start that GD and then not go because I don't have nobody to watch her.
Yeah, well, see if you can find, I mean, there are so many in town that do it, I mean, you can literally just Google free GED classes in Waco and a whole list will pull up.
There's a lot of churches. too,
Yeah,
that
a lot of
do
churches, and
this.
I'm sure there are some that have childcare with them, but, I mean, that is a really big deal, is if you need to get the dad on child support to get those things, do it. Like, I know it's awful, I know he's not gonna be thrilled about it, but, at the same time, this is just my side on this, and I know that I'm not in the same position, and so I really shouldn't be saying this, but I'm just saying, I think it's ridiculous that you're gonna take care of this baby all the time, and you're gonna be paying for this baby all the time, and you don't want him to have any of that responsibility, cause you know, he doesn't have time for that, like, no, like, because eventually, and I mean, it might be y'all are on really great standings now, but if he pieces out and you find some other girl, like, he's still gonna be your baby, like, seriously.
Yeah.
We're not messing, I mean, I had a friend who, and the great thing about that is because right now it might be like, okay, we've got an understanding, we've got this figured out, he's gonna pay this, I'm gonna pay this. But if y'all break up or something happens, it's like, you can call him all night and day, he's not gonna give you any money for that baby. But if he's on child support, they make him pay that, you know, and it's not up to you to figure that out, like, it's the law, he has to do that. But that's another one of those, like we were talking about, where it just comes down to that black and white, like, at some point, you just have to say, this is what's best for me and my family, and we're gonna do this, you know what I mean? And it's like, for me to get ahead, for me to be able to provide for my family and be independent, if that means I need free childcare, and the only way I can get free childcare is put him on child support,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. You made a baby too, you know, and that's how that works.
My cousin had 5 kids by her husband. They put him on child support for all 5, and he lived with her. They married.
Yeah.
You know, but she just gives him the money back, you know.
Yeah.
But it's so she can get free childcare.
Yeah, and it's like, if you have to do that, you have to do it, but it's not worth any anger or negative things, like, that's not worth how much you'd be losing paying all that for childcare, you know what I mean? Or trying to find somebody who'll watch your baby so you can go do what you need to get done.
Do they just want like an open case, or do
They
they
just have to have the paperwork saying that this, cause you can't say, this is my income, without proof of what your real income is. So that's why you have to have them on child support, is for them to say, this is your child support. Like, because you can't say, this is my income, and then they say, well, does the dad contribute anything? And you're like, well, he pays some here, and sometimes he pays the water bill, but that's really only like March and November, you know, like, that doesn't work. Like, they need something firm saying, this is what my income is. So if you don't have that paperwork, they're gonna be like, well, you could be really making this much in your house, but you're not reporting that, you know, so it's just basically so they can keep track of that, is why it is.
Do they apply it like for summer? Cause I have my 2 older kids,
Mhm.
they're from a previous relationship, but, you know, it's like if I was to work, let's say for the summer, and I need someone to watch the kids.
Is he on child support?
You have to put them on child
In
support.
order to
Are their
get
dads on
Oh,
child
get it.
support?
I already opened the case.
In order to get.
As long as it's
it
open, I think it's on this open.
Yeah.
It is, I just talked with the WIC officer, that's what it is, she told me, but in order to even get it, you have to at least be working 25 hours a week or going to school.
Yeah.
Only live in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Smart ass.
You hear what she
But yeah, I mean,
They say you have to at least be working 25 hours a week or be going to school to even
to get the free childcare, you do.
No, anybody. You have to be actively looking for a job, and you have to turn in 3 reports a week with the information on it.
Mhm.
Have 25 hours of work or be in school.
Yeah, the parents have to have that,
Yeah.
but,
Because I got a paper from here, from Trinidad, that the EOAC do free childcare, like
We're
whatever.
talking about CCS.
yeah.
Like,
EOAC is
that's the
different,
one
EOAC
with
is a little
the,
harder to get into, so that's
the one
why.
with the workforce?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's like the one, the EOAC, they do it for free without the child support, but they only accept one child.
Yeah. So that's why CCS will take all your kids if
Which I
you
was
can get through all the rigmarole and all that.
Which one is the EOAC?
Like something like
What's
a-
that?
That's the Head Start.
Oh, but it's a waiting list.
No, they get you on there real fast. Like,
Can't remember how
pregnant, I got on there like this.
But how old is your baby?
My baby, like, I was pregnant, and like, they can go there up until 3 years old.
Oh,
And
so
then-
she can
and
go,
then
like,
they
right
have
now?
Another program from 3
Newborns
to
and
5.
Shut up, why no one told me this? I could still be working.
No, like, they get you on there.
It depends on your situation, because if you're in a situation where you really need it, sometimes Janie can call and be like, this is the issue, this is what's going on.
I'm
you
finna
need
go
to
talk
fit
to
it in.
Jane, because I want my job back.
Yeah, because
See,
they
you
do
gotta use that one, use that second one out there, you gotta talk to Janie about that.
Okay,
Use
look,
that
I
second one,
can't be,
there
I
you go.
can't be in there like, man, my nigga, I need a job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm hilarious. I'm hilarious.
Also, you guys can only take one baby in?
I think so. But TCS, you can have all your kids, but yeah, you have to go through
Yeah.
all
I
that
have a
stuff.
personal question about that one, we do now.
Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, issues?
Well, this is good time for you.
Y'all did, we got a good talk out of this, this was good. Well, y'all always know, I mean, we love helping y'all, and we really want the best for y'all, and that's why we do classes like this. I know this class, at least I think this class is a little different than most classes are. I'm very practical, that's me, I'm like, I mean, you need to know stuff about being pregnant and having babies and all those things,
Yeah.
that's very good, but I'm like, but if you have a super healthy pregnancy and then you have that baby and can't feed that baby, that's not gonna do you much good. So, I really wanna make sure that y'all have those skills that y'all need. And I know for me, just being here and things like that, is you see that a lot where people just don't know those rules. You know what I mean? It's like you just don't know that you'll get farther if you dress nicer or talk correctly or smile and look in people's eyes, you know, stuff like that. So y'all remember that as y'all are going around, this really will help. And y'all will start seeing when you go places that people treat you different, that you start getting things you weren't getting before, you know? Like y'all are talking about going to cosmetology school and going to meet, like if you go and you meet face to face, you shake her hand, look her in the eye and say, this is really what I'm needing, and you're dressed right, and you're doing that, you're gonna get much farther than, like you said, it's like, well, I called them and they said this is how much it is.
No, I
You
would
know?
not say. I have, because they told me everything in person, but like, I didn't get the payment plan and none of that, like, I didn't get nothing.
Yeah, so that's when you just call and you say, hey, I need an appointment, you do that, and that's when they'll work with you, you know? That's good stuff.
I do have a question here. Has CareNet ever thought about offering GD classes here?
We have. The thing is that so many places offer them. We don't do a lot of, we try not to duplicate our
Because,
services.
yeah, like, just the CareNet clients, then y'all will be able to offer with that childcare situation, and then a lot of parents wouldn't have excuses anymore, you know?
That's something to think about. I'll ask them about it, because we're, right now especially, we're really trying to figure out, I mean, I know y'all might have seen, like, every month we're trying to do a new certification and things like that in our classes, because we want y'all, when y'all go into a class, y'all go to a job interview, you've got something somebody else doesn't have.
I mean, I'd be willing to help with the
You know?
history, the science, and the English. That was like, English was like my best favorite subject ever in the world. I love English. But, like, the math, you can miss me with the math.
Yeah. But that might be one of those things that we do, that's what I was thinking of, even if it was like a 1 week, y'all just come in and from 10 to noon, and it's like, okay, today we're doing math, today we're doing English,
Cause
today,
I know a lot of
you
us
just
that
go
come here
through
don't
it.
have our GED.
Yeah, and I think that would be really
And a
helpful.
lot
I
of
was
problems
reading about
is
it.
they don't have childcare, you know?
Yeah, I'll see what we can do.
I know a lot of places do GED, but I know most of them, when I used to go back then, when I used to have to go, they wouldn't do childcare.
Yeah. Well, Google it and see if there's a place you can go that has
And that's like,
childcare.
a lot of the problem is they don't have a place for their babies to go,
Yeah.
so they can't really get this.
Definitely.
And I know.
Like I said, I'll ask Janie and see, cause I know that that's something we've talked about, but I think it's always been something we've said that since so many places